Okay.
Hi, James.
Hey.
So it's third down the last week or
James
so.
Coley.
How much better do you think it's gotten? Were there specific things, or is it just kind of all?
Cues, cues. You know, when there's variables on defense, when teams throw curveballs at you, and you're not communicating. I think this last week was all about communication with our players, and up front and in the perimeter. Just understanding what different things can happen on third down, because third down is a different defense than you see on first and second down. And everybody early in the season has their wrinkles that they do. We do on offense, you know. So sometimes when you get some curveballs, you got to be able to adjust, and it goes back to your your habits. You know, I always tell the guys that habits rise to the top in pressure situations. So whatever our good habits are with communicating and being on the same page, that's all going to come about in a game like last week.
I know you can't control it because you don't make the schedule, but is it almost ideal to get a couple games, get the one big game anyway? You got a lot of tape to look at. Then you basically have a 2-week camp almost again. Is that almost beneficial in a lot of ways?
It is. It's beneficial. This past bye week, having that right after the Florida game was I think was great. I'm sure it was great for them also on the other side. It was a pretty tough game, physical game.
James, obviously Duke is the workhorse in the backfield, but getting these other guys some work over the next couple of weeks, just the importance of that and getting
it's critical. It's critical. Other guys got to. I think we talked about it early in the season. Duke's going to have his carries, and then we have to have the carries by committee. Who's going to take that workload and who's going to go in there. I thought, in the game, we had a holding call when, Clemens ran that power play that broke, and got us into plus territory. I thought that was huge. And he had the penalty and got us back, and that kind of changed the dynamics of that series because now we're backed up again, right? And we got long distance on a first down and ended up having a third and long, which goes back to when you're 3rd and 10. A bunch, or 3rd and 9, or 3rd and 12. Those are tough calls. Not calling them. It's tough to execute them. Especially against good defenses. You want to be ahead of the sticks.
But is it important at all, maybe to give?
Very important to get those other guys going. They've been working hard this past week. So I like the way Dallas has worked. Gus, Mo Hagans, and Clemens is also in that rotation.
Clemens, I guess, I think that was the only carry he had.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That
he
had
was
to
out
be
there.
disappointing.
Yeah, he was out there a bunch.
Right.
He got caught up on third down in his rotation. And Duke was out there on first and second down. And then he was able to get it out there in that first. I think Duke got hurt for playing. He went out there.
Just by nature of how the Florida game went, Coach Golden said, he was glad he kind of went conservative and, what have you. How much of the offense have you yet to even go to in the first 2 games?
Yeah, there's still a lot out there that we haven't put on the field. And I think a game like Florida, where you want to take your shots, like we took the shot with Phillip. We're in a great area of the field where we knew that either way we won the field position. I think we started off on the negative side, inside the 20. That's when that type of stuff comes out. And just getting back over there was a battle during the game. But yeah, there's still some stuff out there that we still haven't shown.
When you're facing a so-called lower division team like you are this week, do you have to remind kids to treat it like any other game, or is this team mature enough that you don't have to kind of underscore that?
We do it, and they're mature enough to give us that look. Like it's really bringing this up. So yeah, they're a mature bunch.
What do you point to, sort of FCS teams beating FBS teams?
Oh, absolutely, it happens. I mean, the first couple of weeks, right? These guys come in here and they won last week, and they got players. So.
There's been obviously some breakdowns in the passing game, James, where guys just look like they're either not running the right route or confused as to what they're supposed to be running. Has that been something you guys really focus on?
Yes, especially like I said, with different wrinkles, on defense, when they throw their new stuff out there, and I think Phil was on one, Dorsett, where it was a mixed cue with him and Steven, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, and it happened. So that's the stuff we've been really focusing on in practice, giving him all the wrinkles, even if the team doesn't do it. But it's been the history where it's worked against us, we're showing to him in practice.
Clyde Walford, he's been doing pretty well in the touches he's gotten. And Al said that you were going to be working on him a lot this week or the past couple weeks.
He has been, yeah.
To kind of speed up or to play a little harder or something like that, to go full force, timing.
Well, he's a big guy who's fast, and you know, you don't necessarily have to be fast to get open, but it helps. So if you're fast, you got to learn how to get open, and I think that's where we've been working with him, where now he's not on a linebacker, he's on a safety. You know, can he get open on that safety? You know, can he change up his speed and burst and get out of his break? So he's been working really hard at it. He's looked pretty good.
So it's not a matter of him not giving all he's got?
No,
you
he's
know
been,
what I mean?
yeah, he's giving effort. He's giving effort. He just has to find it within himself to apply the skill while working in practice.
How good can he be?
One thing working hard, Rich, another thing working hard effectively.
How good can he be? What's his upside?
He's got great upside. I think you know, he can be definitely one of the top tight ends in this conference.
Last question for James.
To jump on that, Al talked a lot last week about Stacy and Malcolm being pushed in practice. What did you see from them? How did they respond with that challenge last week?
You know, everybody's been pushed with regards to those guys. They responded. You know, Stacy's, you know, it's a whole new language, right? He's coming in from high school. It's a whole new grind, you know, and he's got these classes that he's taking that are college level classes, right? You know, and he's coming to practice and he's sore. You know, the corner now he's 200 pounds. He's not 165 that he saw in high school. You know, so it's physical. So what I saw from him was the push. He's really pushed himself, and he's a smart kid. He's very instinctive, so you know, I like where he's at right now. With regards to Malcolm, he's coming off that injury, so his major deal's always been since I've been here is just being in condition to endure the entire practice. You know, he's going to be sore at times, and it's, you know, hey, you're running that route at 12, whether you're sore or you're tired. You know.
Awesome. Thanks,
Good.
Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.